The 10th day of action in Melbourne ushered in the quarterfinals, a stage of the tournament where the competition intensifies dramatically and the room for error completely vanishes. With coveted semi-final berths hanging in the balance, it was the blend of seasoned experience, unwavering composure, and the sheer ability to perform in high-stakes moments that definitively distinguished the victors from those whose impressive tournament journeys concluded. Carlos Alcaraz put on another masterclass performance, issuing a powerful statement by dismantling Alex de Minaur with a commanding scoreline of 7-5, 6-2, and 6-1 to march into the semifinals. The opening set proved to be the most intense battle, with de Minaur masterfully employing his exceptional speed and formidable defensive skills to keep the match level and pull Alcaraz into grueling extended rallies. He competed fiercely and genuinely challenged Alcaraz in the initial phases of the contest, but the moment the Spaniard managed to clinch that hard-fought opening, set the entire dynamic of the match shifted irrevocably. Alcaraz began to play with a palpable sense of freedom, elevating his aggression significantly, while impressively maintaining his precision and consistency. His devastating forehand was the primary weapon inflicting the majority of the damage, and his remarkable movement across the court allowed him to assert total dominance in the extended exchanges. From the second set onward, Alcaraz was the undeniable master of the court, delivering a polished, immaculate performance that served as a powerful reminder of why he is considered the preeminent player of the tournament thus far. In the day's second men's quarterfinal, Alexander Zverev battled his way into the semifinal, securing a 4-set victory over Lerner Tien in what was a profoundly tough and physically demanding contest. The sheer intensity of the match, especially in the early going, was perfectly encapsulated by two incredibly tense tie breaks that highlighted just how narrow the margins were between the two competitors. TNA demonstrated tremendous courage and an unwavering belief in his game, consistently playing an attacking style of tennis even when facing the most immense pressure. However, Zverev's extensive experience ultimately proved decisive. The German's formidable serve acted as a major weapon, particularly within the tiebreaks where it gifted him crucial free points and gave him control. Zverev also produced noticeably higher velocity on his shots, which consistently forced Tien into rushed decisions and a greater number of unforced errors. Although Tien's serve experienced some struggles at critical junctures, his run in this tournament still represents a massive career breakthrough. He is no longer simply a prospect for the future. He has firmly established that he belongs among the sport's elite right now. In the women's competition, Aryna Sabalenka delivered an utterly commanding performance to put a stop to Iva Jovic's spectacular run, winning decisively 6-3, 6-0 and leaving absolutely no doubt about her superiority. From the very first games of the match, the world number 1 seized control of the proceedings, dictating the flow of play with a far greater level of pace, intensity, and unshakable confidence. Sabalenka was relentless in her strategy of taking the ball early, hitting powerfully through the court, and finishing points with clinical precision, ultimately overwhelming Jovic with her sheer force. The most critical difference between the two was evident on the biggest points. Jovic skillfully created 5 opportunities to break serve, but failed to convert a single one, whereas Sabalenka was ruthlessly clinical, capitalizing on 4 of her 8 chances. That incredible efficiency in crucial moments caused the momentum to swing rapidly and decisively in her favor. For Jovic, this marks the end of her tournament campaign, but at such a young age, her exceptional performance throughout the week confirms an incredibly bright future awaits her. However, when facing one of the absolute best in the world, the significant step up in the required level of play was undeniably evident. One of the most stunning surprises of the tournament unfolded as Elina Svitolina completely dismantled Coco Gauff 6-1, 6-2 in a breathtaking quarterfinal display. Right from the opening game, Svitolina played with remarkable clarity and a clear sense of purpose, striking the ball cleanly, taking valuable time away from her opponent, and closing out points with supreme confidence. She amassed a high count of winners while keeping her unforced errors exceptionally low, showcasing a perfect synthesis of aggression and control. Gauff, on the other hand, endured an extremely difficult day on the court, finding it impossible to establish any rhythm and leaking a steady stream of errors from both her forehand and backhand. Her serve, which is often a significant weapon, offered very little resistance, allowing Svitolina to step into the court and dictate the rallies from the very beginning. It amounted to a complete and flawless performance from Svitolina and a surprisingly listless outing from Gauff, with the stark contrast between their respective levels of play being impossible to ignore. The upcoming semifinal between Carlos Alcaraz and Alexander Zverev is shaping up to be one of those monumental clashes that feels entirely impossible to predict. Their head-to-head record is perfectly tied at 6 wins each, and nearly every match between them has been a physically punishing competitive epic filled with dramatic momentum shifts. Alcaraz enters the match as a slight favorite owing to his spectacular recent form and the dominant fashion in which he has been dispatching opponents using his powerful forehand, incredible movement, and his uncanny ability to alter the rhythm in the middle of a rally. That being said, this will be his first ever semifinal appearance at the Australian Open, so managing the enormous pressure of the moment will undoubtedly be a substantial test for the young star. Zverev holds the clear advantage when it comes to experience on this grand stage. He understands how to navigate the challenges of long taxing matches, and when his serve is firing on all cylinders, he is exceedingly difficult to break. If he can successfully minimize his unforced errors and dictate the flow of play with his world-class backhand, he absolutely has the capacity to push Alcaraz deep into a grueling 5-set battle. Still, over the course of a lengthy match, the unique creativity, explosive speed, and indomitable fighting spirit of Alcaraz may ultimately prove to be the deciding factors. The first women's semifinal is set to be a compelling and emotionally charged encounter between Elina Svitolina and Aryna Sabalenka, pitting Ukraine against Belarus. Beyond the court, the geopolitical context is an unavoidable backdrop to this contest, and it is anticipated that Svitolina will decline to shake hands after the match, a practice she has consistently followed against Belarusian players since the war began. On the court, Sabalenka holds a distinct 5-1 advantage in their head-to-head record, a lead built largely on her superior power and her strategy of dictating points with her massive serve and aggressive first-strike tennis. However, Svitolina is arriving at this semifinal in absolutely outstanding form, playing an aggressive yet highly disciplined style of tennis, defending with exceptional skill and demonstrating an ability to transform moments of pressure into controlled aggression. If Svitolina is able to absorb Sabalenka's pace and extend the rallies, she has a very real opportunity to make this a tightly contested match. As the Australian Open of 2026 moves deeper into its final days, there is no longer any room for an easy victory. The biggest names in the sport are still in the hunt, but the gap that once existed between the clear favorites and the rising challengers has all but vanished. New faces have emphatically earned their place among the elite. A powerful sense of belief is spreading throughout the remaining field of players, and every match from this point forward feels like a final. The path to victory now is all about managing pressure, seizing critical moments, and surviving the most grueling days of the championship. That is precisely the kind of high-stakes drama that Day 10 of the Australian Open 2026 delivered. If you enjoyed this summary, please leave a like and subscribe for more coverage. We will see you again tomorrow.